Hey everyone! So this week I pretty much has just been moving the buildings around, making sure that they are in the right locations to pour the rest of this concrete foundation slash sidewalks, whatnot. Because my plan originally changed because of this area. It changed from my original plan. So now the gas station's up here and originally it was going to be down here. I just have to make sure everything is going to be where it needs to be, because once you pour this stuff you cannot take it up. So I had moved this ice cream stand a couple different places to see if it looked better somewhere else, and you know what, it works best right here, and that's where I'm going to put it. And then I've moved around these buildings here, and I moved it over here to see what was the best area for them. And I think where I got them now looks like the best area. And then this is where I'm going to put the movie theater and the pub, and the jazz club will put right there. And then I have that diner I haven't put together. See, there's some kits that are not put together, so I kind of took the footprints of them and I had to do some measuring to make sure everything's going to fit. And that's going to be put in the right location, because once we do the rest of the foundation, it's going to be in there and it can't come out. So this is the last of my trackside purchases for kits. And so it is the Walther Cornerstone Sunrise feed mill. Now, this building is actually two buildings. It's this building here and that building there. Though I'm not exactly sure you can build them as two separate ones, but the reason I bought it is I want that half right there, and that fits really perfect in the other side of my center spur. Two different buildings. So these are the parts, and as you can see there are two different foundations. So this one here is the first foundation, and I do have a ruler here so we can measure out what the size is for this main feed mill part. It's about 2 5/16, as you can see. Widthwise, 4 3/4 is the actual size for the main building. So that basically is going to fit in my space. I actually have more space in the width area, but the length I have about 5 inches. So as you can see, this that's this building here. This is just attached warehouse. I actually don't have room for that. An entryway down to a cellar, so there's a cellar entrance, and then there's also some stairs. Then we get our main pieces here, which we have two things for the different buildings. So this is for that large building, and there are some inner side ones because of the unique roof. I would say these ones down here, though, have to be for the warehouse building. So this one and this one on the other side have to be for the warehouse building. And then these other two are for the top. There's like a top area where on the building here, right at the top there. So it's probably it's a pretty good size. And then on this one here, I would say this piece, and this piece are for the main building. Can see it has so there's one with a door, so that's got to be in the front, and then this is the trackside one back here, and then this is the side. Now the warehouse building, these are the two pieces for the warehouse building. As you can see, you can't actually make it really a second building because it has this cutout area. So if you made the second building, you have this cutout area, so you would have to doctor up something using probably some styrene plastic and kind of cover over this and paint it something unique. Then it comes with their little plastic window things, and these are the thicker ones. So this is definitely an older style Walther Cornerstone because of the thicker windows. The different piping and stuff that goes sort of on the roof. And so then we get our instructions. Kind of shows you where to put the windows and stuff on, and then in the back it shows you how the two buildings go together. So this is the main building at the top, and it shows you the secondary building and then how to put the rest of the stuff on the main building. So like I said, I'm not gonna It's a whitish gray. Looks like very weathered. I'm going to go back and put green trim around there, and then the bottom here is going to be concrete. A couple layers of green, but make it look like it's still weathered. So that's what I'm doing. Nothing fancy. It's been a couple hours of screwing around here on these kits. Good morning, everyone. So I've been continuing to work on this structure here that's going to go on that track side. Hopefully you guys can see it there. So I didn't paint it all up, but I do have the roof on, and I do have the walls added. And I did add this loading dock and the cellar door. The loading dock was not perfectly flat, or it's a little wonky when I had put it on there, not level, so I had to glue it sideways like this and let the thing sit sideways. What I'll be doing really soon, once I have all the foundations slash concrete slash sidewalks, all that done, is putting in the lighting. And you've seen me already put a lighting in. I've already lit up the cove and over by the coal area and whatnot, and those lights give off a lot of power there. These are the street lights. I have 3 different versions. I have the double lamppost. These ones are some newer ones I picked up. They're like a pedestrian street light. I'm going to be putting them by the train station and very small areas. I don't have too many of these. And then I also have, I showed you in the past, the arch cast iron. This is going to be in the main town, pretty much all over. And then I still have a couple of these wooden pole, which you've already seen. I've already showed you what they look like lit up, and they give off a lot of light. So I picked this stuff up all for about 60% off the retail list price. And it's still a little expensive, but the quality of what this system does is I think is pretty cool, especially for my situation. I do like the individual dimmers on these lights. They really do come in handy. So this is what I'm going to be putting in. Like I said, I have 10 of these stick-on lights, so I'm going to be using those to light up only 10 buildings. Not going to go crazy. And then, like I said, I have a total of individual street lights. I have a total of 21, and I've already put in 3 of them. So I started building this kit, and like I said, this kit over here is not done yet, but this gives me an idea what the foundation is going to be, but also what this street. So I'm going to have this bridge here coming over, and there's going to be a road that curves because it's going to go down here. This street's going to go, and it's going to kind of hill down. So I want to have a foundation for this building and a little space like to use this loading dock, so that I can get a couple of country style trucks back here to pick up their feed and their seed. But I also like along this edge area and where this street light's going to be, I want to have a little bit of greenery stuff and some trees and stuff along that edge. Right up here where I put this rock wall, and I have not painted it yet, which is kind of another thing I want to do, but along this edge, that edge of this plastic rock sheet that's on here is jagged. So what I want to do is I want to put just a little bit of plaster cloth right at this edge. It'll go on a little bit on this product, but just a little bit, just to get rid of that jagged edge so it doesn't rip off, or it's kind of sharp there too. So I want to get rid of that. So that's something else I'm going to probably be doing this time. So you see I just added a little bit right around that light down there by the cove. There's going to be a rock wall around here, and I wanted to get a little plaster cloth just on top of that, so that when I put the rock wall on there, I can have paint adhere to that, to the top half around that street light, because I had put some foam in there, and instead of just having foam there. So that's another little area that I wanted to add some plaster cloth. So while I was out here, I might as well do it, hey? Hey everyone! So I'm kind of going over some of the things that I got in that last video I showed, where I was just unboxing stuff out of the package. And And these were the trees that I showed you. The thing is, I didn't get to show them to you opened up, see what they look like inside. So I'm going to do that now. So yeah, that is the smallest one. And I guess I could measure it. That's probably about 2 inches because they say 2 inches. Now, I counted these out before. We get quite a few of these. This looks like 2.5. What are these? That's 2 inches exactly. And this is about 2.5. About. When I say about, it really depends on where that little bottom thing is because there's a little wire under there so you can stick it in the layout. So I'd say about 2.5. So out of those, we get 1, 2, it's a little bit bigger. So we only get, it looks like 2 of those. So we get 8 of the 2-inch and only 2 of the 2.5 inch. Then we go up to a size a little bit bigger. They look like this, and I'll measure those out for you. Those are literally, they look close to 3 really large ones. These are kind of big for N scale, but there are big trees in real life. They say this is supposed to be 4 inches, but I got this on the ruler here, and I can tell you it's not 4 inches. Yeah, 3 3/4 instead of 4 inches. Now, these are pretty big. I kind of put these around my layout, and they look kind of huge. And so we get 4 of these, and there's 4 in there. Somebody in my family said, hey, you know what you could do? You could cut them down. And sure enough, you could. Because it's a pine tree, and, you know, if you look at the size of them, they all have the same type of thing. So if you wanted to cut it, you could cut it down with a wire cutter and remove all this extra plant stuff, and you can make them smaller. So that is definitely a thing I think I'm going to do, because I think the almost 4-inch one is too big. Probably the sizes that I'm going to use, and the ones that are in this container I'm going to cut down. But yeah, they turned out really nice. Like I said, they're a pretty good product. The thing is, there's not a lot of pine trees to choose from for N scale that are in the N scale / Z scale-ish sizes. I mean, it's kind of stretched to say Z scale on this, but you could use the 2-inch ones in Z scale. But it's very hard to find pine trees, or at least it has been for me, finding them in stock in a size that's good for N scale. Mostly they're in much larger sizes for HO and O scale. I didn't really get to show you guys the back of the package, but it gives you a sort of a size, what it would be in N, HO, O, S, and all the other different scale heights. But yeah, this is a good product for N scale. They look really good, and if you're looking to add some pine trees to other trees you have, I have other trees that look like maples and birch trees and a bunch of different other type of trees. But I wanted to add a couple of these.